There's one thing you take away from this podcast: belief that it is possible. Okay. If they can do it, there is zero reason why you can't do it as well. Talking about what round 15 of the 6-week Creative Rise Mastermind accomplished in 6 weeks, all 37 businesses, people in the wedding space and in the brand space, they made. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Creative Rise Podcast. So glad you are here today to celebrate with us something that is crazy. Crazy,
everybody.
Huge news. We've got some awesome news for you today. Talking about what round 15 of the 6-week Creative Rise Mastermind accomplished in 6 weeks, which is just insane. Like, we are mind blown. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes here. But more importantly, talking about what you can learn from what they learned, what they did really well, what they maybe didn't do well. And we're just so excited to talk about this, because when we can break down something that is incredible, when a new mastermind revenue goal gets set for how much money, this round of the mastermind made in 6 weeks, inside of 6 weeks, it's important to strip it down, break it down, and go, okay, what have they done differently? What have they done differently to different rounds? What are they maybe doing differently to what you're doing right now inside of your business? And hopefully it's just really insightful, super encouraging to talk about what is working right now in the creative industry to build a really solid business.
Yeah. So as you've been listening for the last 6 weeks, we have been giving you like wins, updates on the wins throughout the 6 weeks, what they're actually learning. And this is the episode where we're finally releasing exactly what they made during the 6 weeks. We literally screenshot every single win. It's like one of the things that we do in our mastermind is if you make $1 during the mastermind, you drop in what you made, how you made it, what you sold, and what you learned. And everybody during the 6 weeks did this. So we had 37 businesses in this round. And for 6 weeks, they absolutely crushed it.
Yeah.
They crushed it.
Yeah. And this is not a trend. This is not something that it's just like, oh, we don't know how that happened. Like, this is a pattern. We are seeing this consistently happen time and time again. When we run these masterminds, which we run 2 a year, we are consistently seeing rounds challenge each other for the revenue record and even break the record. And I'm not going to lie, when the last record was set by round 14, which was $510,000 in 6 weeks, 37 businesses in 6 weeks made $510,000. I was like, there's no way that's ever going to get beat.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Normally our rounds land anywhere between 420 to 480, and this came in at 510. I was like, this is insane.
Blown away.
We were blown away.
What the heck?
We were like, round 14 is insane. Something just happened again with round 15 that blew our minds. And I'm like, and now I'm sitting here going, I don't know if this record will ever be broken. So you guys are probably ready to hear it. This is the number right here, all right? The number, 37 businesses, round 15, all 37 businesses, people in the wedding space and in the brand space from all over the world, okay? They made $611,407 in 6 weeks.
That's insane.
Which is insane. I'm going to give you guys some numbers here. You ready for this? That is $101,901 per week. That's $14,557 per day. Okay?
That's crazy.
And that's $606 per hour for the whole 6 weeks. That's how much you would be having to charge for 6 weeks straight, charging 24 hours a day if you were to make. I mean, it's just mind-boggling to think about.
And I don't know if you're about to share this as well, but this isn't already people who are making 6 figures, multiple 6 figures. We had a couple that are
No, this is businesses
this is
going,
the majority of
I'm
people
coming into this to learn.
$50,000 a year. This is a lot of new businesses, and we are just below. Honestly, I'm still shocked by the number.
Yeah.
$100K a week. That's actually, I never broke it down in my mind that way.
Here's what's even crazier. When you break it down this way, and this is not obviously how the math works out. The math does not break down perfectly like this, but just to give you some context on how big that number is. If we were to take the $611,407 and break it down, divide that by 37, because we had 37 businesses in round 15, that would be $16,524 per business inside of round 15, which is insane. This is 6 weeks. $16,000 per creative. Here's a number that I'm really excited about. This is some great math right here. 17 out of the 37 members of round 15 locked down a retainer contract while inside of round 15, which is really, really cool. So that is literally practically half of the mastermind locked down either their first or a new retainer contract for their business, which is amazing. We had 155 deals signed, 155 jobs closed that they're super excited about. One deal closed every 41 minutes of all the business hours, if you were to break that down, okay? And the smallest win we had was $136. That was the smallest job that somebody got. The biggest one was $49,200. Insane.
So crazy.
The numbers are insane, guys. Like we said at the beginning of this, so this is not a pattern. Sorry, this is not a coincidence. This is a pattern. And we're consistently seeing creatives make more and more and more money because we are living in a world that rewards creatives at a pace and scale we have never, ever seen before. Christy and I feel that. We run, if you're new here, you're like, what is this round 15 stuff? What is this mastermind stuff? What are all these numbers? Well, Christy and I run our own businesses, right? We always have, always will. I'm a photographer and filmmaker. You're a photographer, UGC creator, and you develop all the campaign. Like we still run all of our own businesses shooting for brands. Christy's a wedding photographer, shoots couples as well. And we are even noticing that, like even in our own businesses, of course, we are able to make more money from more people than ever before. Like it's just, there's never been a better time to be creative. So round 15 just proved that. So again, if you're new here, round 15, twice a year, we run a mastermind. We've done it 14 times, now 15 times, where we take 35 to 37 businesses each round, and we teach them the 6 like foundational pillars of building a 6-figure business. And we teach them that, give them the accountability, give them the tools, give them the support inside of 6 weeks. And it's like a sprint. It's like 75 hard for your business. And we do it in 6 weeks. And we calculate every single ounce, every single dollar that comes through as a win. And then we share it with you guys. That's what we're doing on today's podcast. But if we were to annualize this, okay, this is again, this is working. This is just using data to show you what this is going to happen. If we were to annualize what round 15 just made over 6 weeks, and we're going to break that down over the next 12 months, what are they on track to do? These 37 businesses are on track to do $5.3 million.
It's crazy.
So why do I say that? Why are we talking about this? The first thing that we want to encourage you with today that you can learn from round 15 is that there's never been a better time to be a creative. And I'm not just talking, oh, it's fun. Like it pays. $5.3 million. There's so many people that say, I read something the other day. It was a New York Times article or something. I saw a headline. It was talking about how creative people, freelancers, it's never been more unstable / like risky to be, they're kind of talking about like, oh, in a war economy and just like there's so much going on in our world right now, especially like in the US politically, it's hectic. And so they're like, oh, it's just like not always a great thing to be self-employed because there's like a lack of security. And I'm like, man, from the way I see it, there's a whole lot of security because there's never been a better time to get paid to do what you love. Good money, which is awesome, which you can use for all these other things. And you are in the driver's seat of that, which is amazing. So I just want to encourage you guys, if you're listening to this, be encouraged by round 15. There's never been a better time than today, actually, to be self-employed, getting paid to do what you love as a photographer and filmmaker, designer, content creator. I'll shut up now. That was long. But we got some good takeaways.
We're gonna point out some things that if you were not a part of round 15, but you want to glean some information of what you can implement into your business in 2026 in order to get a little piece of the pie of what they got, and that you're like, hey, I want to turn on the jets. I want to do some things differently, but what do I do? Where do I start? What are the things that they did differently than maybe I'm doing right now that could help me have a better 2026? We've actually isolated 5 different things that round 15 did that got them to overpassing this $600,000 mark in 6 weeks. And we're going to talk about that today.
Yeah. So the first one is they all actually optimize their businesses to have way higher income earning potentials. And how you do that is you have to shift what actually earns you income, which is your offers, right? So everybody in round 15, starting in week 1, we actually rebuilt their offers. Now, what does it mean? Well, what's an offer? Let's define what an offer is real quick. An offer is simply the exchange. So it's, I'm giving you this for this. So I will give you these deliverables in this timeline, in this format, and you're going to pay me this. You're going to pay me $2,000, $5,000. An offer is, again, simply the exchange between what you're giving them and what they're receiving. You're receiving back. And if you sculpt your offer properly, your offer wants to be very like outcome driven. So rather than just being like, oh, I'm going to show up for 6 hours and shoot you a video, it's like, no, I'm going to get you a 90-second video that's going to live here and it's going to help you accomplish this. It's going to get you more brand exposure, customer loyalty. It's going to help out your sales team. Like the better you can define your offer and build out the offer, obviously, the more outcome-based it is, the more likely it is going to be able to be perceived as high value, right? So one of the things that we did right off the bat is that we helped everybody increase their earning potential by changing, shifting, optimizing their offers. And for a lot of people, it was actually like building an offer for the first time, right? A lot of
Yeah.
people would be like, oh, I didn't necessarily have offers. I just was kind of for hire. So if you wanted something, you would tell me what offer, you wanted, and you would tell me what you're offering to pay me for, and I would just do it. That's not a really great way to build a business. And so
Yeah.
we helped everybody in round 15 go, I'm going to actually sculpt offers. I'm going to price them strategically. I'm going to make sure they're outcome based, meaning they're talking and very easily serving and solving problems for my clients, whether it's in the brand space or in the wedding space.
Yeah. Like in the wedding space, we had a lot of people who had offers. Like let's say they had 3 packages that they were offering for weddings, but they were priced not strategically. So they were wondering why everyone was booking their lowest package, but it's because their lowest package had everything that they wanted, that the client wanted for a cheaper price. And so everyone was going with that. And so we were figuring out, okay, how do we actually, first of all, ditch some of these lower packages? I can't tell you how many times during the mastermind we'd be like,
Get it.
you know what?
Get rid of it.
Cut that package. Why do you offer something so small for so cheap? And instead of offering the package you actually want to sell. So first of all, cutting what you don't even want to sell is one of the first things you can do. But then secondly, price anchoring, all of that good stuff. We did a ton of that inside of the mastermind, which was awesome.
That's great. Yeah. We cut so many people's packages.
Yes.
We added in so many different offers to people that needed stronger offers. And then we optimized people's offers, right?
Yeah.
To make sure that they're actually solving problems. The deliverables are very, very aligned with the problem that client has, and that then the language around it is very outcome based, which is great. So
Yeah.
round 15 did an exceptional job. So if you're sitting here going offers, Joey, how do I get better at that? Christy, how do I get better at that? One thing you can do very practically today is think about, okay, instead of saying, oh, here's what you're getting 6 hours, you're getting 8 hours, you're getting 10 hours, you're getting 5 hours of my time. Say, here's what this is going to help you do, right? Here's what this is going to help drive for your business, or here's how this is going to improve your wedding day. This is what it's going to feel like to look back on this if you pick this package versus that one. So that is what optimizing your offers for more income producing activity looks like.
Yeah.
It's really, really dialing in that. So that's number one. Number two is also very similar to offers, but it's all about positioning. We went after everyone's positioning to make sure that they're actually positioned towards not only the client they want, but the type of client, and really the income threshold, the income level of that client that they're actually looking for. And so one of the things that we talk about all the time in the mastermind is that sometimes people are so focused on like, oh, I got to figure out how to raise my prices. Yeah. I'm going to try and go from like a $215 like mini session to like a $265 mini session. And that's not a bad conversation, but you're not going to see big jumps in your income because you're so focused on just doing these subtle, small price jumps inside of a small offer versus going, ditch that. Let's put all of my energy on how do I solve a bigger problem?
Yes.
So rather than just focusing on how do I get my pricing to go from, here to here, focus on how do I get my offers to solve that problem, switch from there to over here where it's a much more painful problem.
Yes.
And because it's a much more painful problem or opportunistic problem, I'm actually going to get paid more for that. So an example of that in the brand space, Christy, what is like a very low ticket, low paying offer in the brand space?
In the brand space?
And then how have you seen people make shifts to kind of shift into like a higher paying offer?
Yeah. Well, I think even in like, let's say the UGC space, like, or I guess even campaign side, we'll go both. We'll do
the campaign
like,
side. Because
campaign
it's a little
side,
bit more relatable.
Yeah. Campaign side will be like, oh, like I'll just do, some photos for you for a, product or something like that. Like, oh, we'll just, send me some product and we'll do like, 15 images or something like that. And we'd go, that's great. Like a lot of brands do want to pay photo only campaigns, but most brands want to do photo and video, right? And maybe even some campaign production. We're getting some models, like getting into like a higher space to be able to do both and have both captured. Like most brands are just moving to more of a photo and video and even UGC included in that campaign as well. So instead of just offering like, oh yeah, I can just do like this small little photo campaign for you, it's like offer both. Like we had so many conversations about that. And if you can't offer professional video, you can offer photo and UGC. Anyone can do iPhone.
Or go find someone to hire on to help you with video,
someone to
right?
hire on and pack it on and go for it, which was a big thing.
Yeah, it's going from like, hey, I'll shoot some headshots to hey, I'll shoot a full blown.
That's probably a better example. That is lower.
Yeah, I'll go from like, oh, I shoot headshots for like, like your company to, no, I'm going to shoot your new launch campaign for a new product. Like, it's a way heavier problem. Or therefore you're going to get paid way more.
Yes. Or just going from like a one-off to a retainer model. Like going from a one-off of like, oh, let me just give you like refresh your site photos to let's actually grow your socials. Let's meet together every single month and come up with a library of images and videos for you to be able to actually grow continually. And so you're hitting these like higher stake things, which is huge. So
yeah. So if you're thinking about, hey, how do I audit myself on that and align myself with how Round 15 did that really well? Just ask yourself a question like, what I am shooting, is it actually very needed? Is it helping solve a really big pain point? Or is it just kind of like, oh, it's nice to have?
Yeah.
Oh, the new headshots are nice to have. Oh, those like, those little photos for social media are nice to have. Or is it like, oh my gosh, like we need content for that ad campaign? Because if we don't have fresh content, our content's going to fatigue, our ad results are going to go down, and we're going to blow the $100,000 we're spending on ads this month.
Yeah.
Like that is a way, way, way better problems to solve, right? Is focusing on those higher pain point offers. So it's really, really important that you focus on that if you want to, do big price jumps. This is how so many people inside of the mastermind went from shooting like $1,500 videos to shooting $10,000 videos, or shooting $450 photo shoots to shooting $3,500 photo shoots, $8,000 photo shoots, even shooting on the wedding side, like focusing on weddings that have, higher pain points in some areas, right? Yeah. It's like either it's a venue thing, it's a type of content thing. There's ways to do this in the wedding industry as well, where you align yourself with like quote unquote, like,
or even like the
more
example
challenging.
Yeah, we had a couple who's from Canada, and they were like, we are crushing it in our space here in Canada, but we want to do more destination weddings. But we feel like we haven't really done that yet. And like, how do we actually get into that? And that feels higher stakes, and that feels like something we've never done before. But like, how do you do it even though you've never done it before, right? And so we were like, hey, you know what? Let's jump into actually building out a destination wedding social funnel, meaning they're going to create a guide to the place that they want to book more weddings in. It was over in Europe. And you're going to create a guide, and you're going to do a ton of research and create this really value forward guide of, if you want to elope or get married in, this area in Europe, this is how you do it. And here's all the information you need. And here's venues, and here's all this stuff. And so they created this like a killer guide that has so much information, and started running a social funnel to it along with some ads. And it's going to draw in those people for inquiries. And it's something, huge. It's a higher stakes position for them, but they just went after it, and they took the steps to go after it as well, which is cool. So lots of different creative ways of how to get into the next level of where you're wanting to go. That happened inside of the 6 weeks.
We're going to jump to number 3, but at the end of this too, I'm also going to read off some of the most significant wins from week 6, because we've got a bunch here. So good. My phone was charging.
So good.
I actually forgot to read them off at the beginning of this, but I can't wait to read them off because there's so many great ones to celebrate. Stick around to hear what people are selling and for what price points. But okay, number 3, it's changing how they talked on sales calls. So completely changing how everyone in Round 15 showed up on a sales call. They had a new framework. They had a new posture. They had a new identity as they stepped into those sales calls. And time again, we had people writing to us or, saying to us on calls, Joey, Christy, oh my gosh, that was the easiest sales calls I've ever done.
Well, we had 155 sales calls, right? Yeah. 155 deals.
Or, oh my gosh, I can't believe how confident I felt on that sales call. So Round 15 went for a huge shift from, I'm incredibly uncomfortable doing sales calls. Maybe I don't even do them because they're uncomfortable. I just kind of like try and go back and forth via email, going back and forth via DMs. They went from sales calls freak me out. I have no idea. I always feel like I'm out of control in them. They're not comfortable. I don't know how to close anybody. To, wow, I have a framework. I have a plan. I have a community cheering for me. I feel like I've got a new posture to get on these calls, and I'm confident, and that makes a massive difference in the amount of deals people are closing. I mean, I cannot tell you how many people have said in Round 15, I just closed the biggest deal I've ever got, or this is like literally right here. I'm going to read one of them because I know it's in here. Yeah. I just screenshotted it earlier. Okay, here we go. Chris Creeb. Shout out to Chris. He says, just got off the easiest sales call of my life. Thank you, Joey and Christy. The framework was so helpful. I just locked in a 3-hour event in LA to shoot photos, $3,500, easily my biggest event fee ever.
Woo woo.
Why is that? Well, because his posture on a sales call was so, I was going to say infutable. Is that a word? What's the word?
Irrefutable?
Irrefutable. That's the word. Well, that's like attractive, right? Like solid.
Yeah.
So solid. Okay. I didn't go to college, okay? So I don't know big words, but Chris did such a great job owning what the value was going to be.
Yes.
If they were to hire him. He got on a sales call and owned that. Therefore, he locked down the biggest live event coverage fee for $3,500 that he's ever locked down. And so it's super important on sales calls for you guys listening. You might be saying, well, Joey, like, give us some tea here. What should I actually be doing on sales calls? Well, you want to switch from showing up at a sales call and saying, hey, here's what I offer, hire me, to hey, let me diagnose what the real advantage here, opportunity. What's the problem? What are we going after, right? Like, what are we trying to achieve? I can guarantee you, Chris got on that sales call and he said, hey, tell me about your event. What's it look like? What would be a home run? These are all things we tell him to say. What would be a home run if you could snap your fingers and this event went perfectly and we shot it, captured it perfectly? What are the assets you'd have to promote next year, to give to sponsors, and why? Break that down for me.
Yeah.
Like, that's the difference between a bad sales call and someone who can really, enforce the proper frameworks and really, have a great conversation that leads to a sale.
We actually did live sales calls with each other, practicing on one of our group calls, and it was so fun during week 5 to just highlight. We like literally hot seated people and we're like, okay, sell us. And then we would sell them back on their own offer. And it was so fun because we all learned from each other because everyone brings something different. But it was really cool for those of us that are visual. It's like going from viewing sales call as like, you've got the client on one side of the table and then I'm on the other side of the table trying to sell myself. But instead, how do you get both people on the same side of the table looking at the problem together? And just that visual helps people so much. And we just talked so much on sales. We've got a whole sales framework, all of that kind of stuff that really just is awesome. And little small plug, if you join the waitlist for the next round of the mastermind, you actually get that course, the sales formula course, totally for free. So anyways, just a quick plug. If you're listening and you're like, I actually want that formula, you can get it for free. You can buy it on our shop or you can get it for free if you join the waitlist.
Yeah, creativerise.com, you'll find all the buttons to join the waitlist.
Yes.
Jump on there. You'll get an email
But that's one of my favorite things we've ever done is that sales formula framework, because it really just does take the
sales call formula.
Give us the ease.
Yeah. Okay. Number 4. This one's a little bit more mindset-y, but it's unbelievably important.
Yes.
And it is. We added it in here because it's undeniable that this is a big part of what it looks like for people to succeed and why round 15 just crushed. Okay.
Yeah.
But it is the idea of just getting around people that are playing bigger. Now, I'll give you an example of this. Like, I feel like, growing up, I used to I still do, but I loved cliff jumping. Okay. And I grew up on a small lake. We had a really, really small cliffs on that lake. And I feel like very quickly as a young kid, I was doing like backflips off that cliff when I was probably like, 10 or something like that. Right. And you're like, oh, I'm the man. I'm jumping this like 12-foot cliff. I'm feeling so cool. I'm so excited. And it's really easy for like your progress to kind of stall out because you're not around opportunity that's bigger. Therefore, you're not really around opportunity to get called up to do something more impressive, something bigger, more challenging, right? And I remember one time going to a friend who, took me to this lake and there were some bigger cliffs. And I was like, whoa, that thing's bigger. But what was cool was there was a bunch of older kids there and they were all jumping off and doing some tricks that I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I would love to learn that. And next thing you know, I'm like talking to these older kids. I'm probably like 12, 13. And they're like, oh, dude, you got it, man. You got it. Let me show you how to do this. And within like an hour of being there, I felt like my cliff jumping ability went from like, oh, little 12-year-old Joey who's like stoked on what he was doing to, wow, I just got so challenged. And I ended up doing things I never maybe thought I was going to do off of a cliff. And then I went on
much to your mom's chagrin.
Yes. Or you. Actually, you're pretty encouraging with it. But over the next, many, many, many years of my life, I love cliff jumping. This is a very small, kind of silly analogy, but the idea is I got around people that were playing a lot bigger than me. And what happened was I very quickly realized, one, what's possible for myself.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, I didn't even know you could do that. Oh, I didn't even know that was possible. I've never met someone that was doing that pushed through that fear and that challenge of doing that. Wow, that was so cool. So that expands what I believe is possible for me. And then because they were all playing bigger and they were friendly, which we are as well, the entire mastermind is a very friendly culture. We build this into the mastermind on purpose. People start to help you the same way they help me. And they started teaching me things. Yeah. So my mind was expanded in terms of what's possible. And then they were showing me the steps to play bigger. And what ends up happening is now almost like very honestly, almost any cliff we go to now.
Yeah.
Humbly, people are like, dang, like Joey's doing all this crazy stuff.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that to say it's not because I'm better at cliff jumping than other people or whatever. It's just that I simply, one, did it more as a kid, and I put myself into proximity around a bunch of older kids that were doing really, really cool stuff. And I got to kind of take the scraps of what they were doing and learn and, and develop some of the confidence around some of these things. And so the same thing goes for your business. The exact same thing goes for your business. When you get around people that are playing bigger than you, they're selling that same video you do, not for $2,000, but for $8,500. Or they're selling that same retainer, not for $750 a month, but they're selling it for $2,950 a month. They're selling that same 8-hour wedding package, not for $4,100, but they're actually selling that same package for $7,600 a wedding. Like whatever that might be for you, it is so important you get around people that are playing bigger, that can expand your perspective, and then can really help you understand what the steps are in order to actually develop that confidence, develop the skill to own that and move into that new price range. And so playing big starts by actually getting in a room with people that are already playing bigger.
Yeah, your community is so contagious, right? If you're around lazy people, that's contagious. If you're around people that are wanting to work hard and push the boundaries and tell you that they believe that you can do it, that's super contagious. So we notice this instantly inside of the community. People are encouraging each other. We put people into pods, accountability pods. Those people were pushing each other. We had weekly calls. All of those touch points with people who are, again, expanding your view of what you have possible for you was just contagious. So that was super cool. So number 4 was they got around people who were playing bigger. And number 5, and this is my favorite one.
Yeah.
They took imperfect action fast.
So what's really funny about this is when we start our mastermind, week 1, we make everybody like put up their hand and repeat. It's like a repeat after me song. It's like Christy's like, I will. Everyone's like, I will. Not cringe myself into like being a perfectionist. I will push through and I will do things and publish them, post them, get them done. Done is better than perfect. 80% is better than 100% if it never gets done.
I will not wait to take action before it's perfect, right? I will not wait. I will not wait for perfection. I will actually take action because done is better than perfect.
You see everyone's hand go up on Zoom and everyone's repeating it. It's so good.
Most creatives are perfectionists. And that's why people also say small, is because imperfect action that is fast, messy action wins out every time over meticulous, perfect, slow action. People will be getting deals that you want simply because they got there faster. Not because they got there better, but because they got there faster. So that was literally 6 weeks of pushing people into imperfect action, not letting perfectionism stop them, and just going like, okay, I have a deadline, because we're big on deadlines. We were literally like, hey, get your website done by this Tuesday and
people
send it in for an audit.
3 weeks for that.
We're like, no. 3 weeks. We're like, no, you don't.
Get it done by Tuesday.
No, you don't. So we would just be like, hey, done's better than perfect. Get it in by Tuesday. And people would work swells. So people would go, okay, I got by Tuesday, I'm going to get it done. So they would literally rush and get things done imperfectly. And yet that was awesome because now they have a site that's actually live. They feel like they can actually go out and pitch. They would develop these pitches. They'd be like 85, 90% done. And we're like, good, send it. You can always perfect it later. And people were landing, again, 155 deals, $600,000. It's because people took messy action. They didn't wait to feel confident. They didn't wait for it to feel perfect. They took action, and the action caused change. And that is one of the biggest things.
So here's some of the things they did. We're just going to read off a few of them. We do this thing called Wagers, week 3, where
it's so fun.
We make everybody set a goal, like an input actionable goal. Some people do a monetary goal. And then we say, what are you willing to put on the line? What are you going to wager if it doesn't happen? People say, I'm going to shave my head. I'm going to get the Creative Rise logo tattooed on my body.
It's always a good one.
My pod group is going to get to decide where it goes. Like some people are like, I'm going to buy myself that new guitar if I get it done, or that new camera, that new lens, take my husband on a vacation. Like whatever it's going to be, what is going to force you either through pain or through, gratification of getting something to actually do something. So here's some examples of what people did. And if I read this list and you go, ooh, yeah, I'm not doing those things. Well, this is why you're not getting, unreasonable results. These are unreasonable actions. Hence why round 15 got very unreasonable results for the standard business that is in this industry, right? So 100 cold calls in 21 days. 60 pitches in 21 days, 50 pitches, build and launch an entirely new social funnel for 2027 weddings, pitch 100 new companies, build a social funnel to book destination European weddings, pitch 10 wedding planners with a referral incentive, build and launch 3 new pin posts, and then start pitching off of those, launch my first ad campaign, rebrand the entire business, redo my website. Like, these are things that people committed to do, forced themselves to do, had a whole community around them rallying, saying you can do it, keeping them accountable. And they even put something on the line that really kind of freaked them out to make sure that it was going to happen. So
it was so good.
This is the type of stuff, guys, that gets stuff done. This is why done is better than perfect. They took in perfect action fast and got stuff done. And here's where that action went. I'm going to read off a bunch of wins from week 6. Okay. So shout out to Isaiah Everett. Isaiah is from LA. He says, last minute ringing the bell, $2,500 quarterly retainer for men's grooming care brand. Includes 15 retouch photos, creative direction, production, concept development, 3 short form reels. So 15 images, 3 short form reels, $2,500 per quarter, $10,000 deal. Shout out to you, Isaiah. That's awesome. Josh from Darkstrand, he locked in a dance competition video for $24,000.
Crazy.
This was huge. Shout out to you, Josh.
Yes.
Josh is an absolute killer. He is from Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
He's killing it. So for everyone who's in the prairies who's like, I don't live in LA, I don't live in a big city, I'm not in New York, Toronto, I can't make a ton of money.
Yeah.
Josh crushed. Can't wait to have him on the podcast one day to talk about it. But Josh locked in $24,000. He said they really wanted to do this. Super excited. We might end up actually doing some upsell stuff here. But basically, he's going to a bunch of different dance competitions and creating some content from that. But this is a really big deal. $24,000 deal, which is so awesome, which I'm super, super excited about. So Audrey from Maui, which is awesome. Audrey said, guys, I'm so excited. This is so cool that this went through. I just booked a $2,800 photo and video refresh for a skincare company, 1 website banner, library of 30 images and 30 clips, and 1 pin post reel, which is incredible. I already talked about Chris. Chris locked down a $3,500 deal for this biggest event fee ever, which he's super excited about. Zach closed a deal to shoot an entrepreneur down in Florida. It's kind of like an infomercial style video, $6,500. Come on, Zach. That's awesome. Ringing the bell. 8-hour wedding photography package, second shooter, 36-hour turnaround for sneak peeks, 21-day turnaround for the entire thing. James from Vancouver. Shout out to you, James.
And James just started his wedding business.
He literally just started
Literally, basically, the day that
this was a $3,200 wedding that he booked, and it was through his social funnel that he built, so he's super excited about that. This is Abby. Abby's awesome. She's out in Hawaii as well. She booked a total of $8,950 in new project value in 6 weeks, which is amazing.
So
those are
cool.
like couple shoots, weddings, couple sessions. Holly, shout out to Holly. She booked a $5,500 wedding in week 6, $450 engagement session, and $350 maternity session. Andy, shout out to Andy, Social by Andy, based in Ontario, Canada. He's just ringing the bell on a bunch of retainers he's got. A couple of these he got. Some of these were previous retainers. He's super stoked about these, and he's adding new ones like every month, which is awesome. But Andy locked down and renewed on $5,932 worth of retainer contracts in week 6, which is amazing. End of the month. Always nice to see that stuff come through. Shiv, shout out to Shiv. She's from Australia, Northern Australia. $3,500 locked in for a new wine brand. First shoot as a one-off, and then we're going to be moving them to a quarterly retainer model. So excited about this and hoping to grow as they grow as well. Josh said, I also scored my first retainer. Shout out to everybody for helping me get this. $3,000 a month to shoot a bunch of videos, which is really, really cool. James, another one. He locked down another wedding, which is super cool. A wedding photography and video wedding, $6,398, which is amazing. Julius, this is awesome. Love to see this one come through. Julius is from Vancouver Island. He's from Victoria. Julius locked down a $3,250 per month retainer for 3 months for his Reels package for a local company, which is incredible. So there's so many wins, guys, in the wedding industry, social industry, the brand industry, and those are just like a few of them. We could have kept going and going and going. There's so many wins. We told you 155 deals were closed during round 15.
So cool.
Inside of the 6 weeks, which is awesome. So here's what you guys got to know. Okay, we're gonna just wrap up on this one more time. I'm gonna cover these. Okay, so in order to do what round 15 was doing, really better your business, right? Make things happen, get more deals. You got to rebuild your offers. Make sure they're based around your outcomes. You got to make sure you're targeting higher ticket, higher stakes work, which is super important. Moving from I don't have a plan for a sales call to I am fully confident in my plan for a sales call. So you can execute on a sales call really, really well. You got to get around people playing much bigger than you, and you got to take imperfect action. These are things that round 15 did exceptionally well. And if you can just mirror some of these, I promise you your business is going to start to look a lot better, more optimistic for the rest of 2026, which is awesome. So, yeah.
So if you're feeling a little bit of the FOMO and you're like, dang, I would love to be a part of something like this. I feel like I am living in isolation. I feel like I'm not working off of a plan. I feel like, man, what you're talking about are all stuff I need to do and I need help implementing it. Round 16 is coming. We've got round 16 coming this fall. Applications are going to be launching in August. However, the waitlist fills up almost all of the spots. So if you want early access, if you want information, if you want early pricing, get on the wait list. It's totally free. And again, as I said, you get the sales call formula course totally for free if you jump on the wait list. And again, the wait list is also for free. So if you want to do that, go to creativerise.com. There's buttons everywhere where you can join the wait list. We've got all the information of what you're going to learn, the 6 weeks, what it breaks down into, and a bunch of the testimonials on there if you want to take a look at all of that. But you guys, thanks so much for listening. Shout out to Round 15 for breaking the record in ways we literally never thought possible.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be done, and it was done. You guys crushed the record too.
You crushed it.
So excited, guys. We'll leave you with this. If there's one thing you take away from this podcast, belief that it is possible. Okay? If they can do it, there is zero reason why you can't do it as well. We can do it. Trust me, if we can do it, there's zero reason why you can't do it as well. So believe in yourself, get the right systems, get the right tools. Most importantly, get the right community, people around you as you are building this business. Do not do it alone. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.